Ukraine rejects its own fallen soldiers. Zelensky refuses to exchange prisoners of war with Russia. Ukrainian team didn't show up, over 6,000 soldiers left in cold storage. Zelensky backs off, says he didn't like the lists. Ukraine has postponed the POW exchange, says Russia's lead negotiator Vladimir Medinsky. Zelensky's negotiators have not arrived, postponement declared for an indefinite period. Russia prepared to hand over the first batch of prisoners and fallen Ukrainian soldiers. Kiev has also refused to accept bodies of Ukrainian soldiers killed on the battlefield. Ukraine confirmed their decision, stating they are walking back because they didn't like the lists. Medinsky has accused Ukraine of failing to carry out the agreed POW and body transfer.
В полном соответствии с достигнутыми в Стамбуле договоренностями мы подготовили более 6 тысяч тел украинских бойцов ВСУ, которые находятся в рефрижераторах замороженных и специальных вагонах в форме ВСУ, многие из них с документами для передачи украинской стороне.
He urged Ukraine to follow the agreements made earlier during talks in Istanbul. Russia brought 1,212 Ukrainian soldiers' remains in refrigerated trucks to the decided point. Additional bodies are en route to the designated border site, says Medinsky.
Российская сторона, в соответствии с договоренностями, достигнутыми 2 июня в Стамбуле, со вчерашнего дня приступила к масштабной гуманитарной акции по репатриации более 6 тысяч тел погибших украинских военнослужащих, а также по обмену военнопленными.
Moscow gave Ukraine a list of 640 wounded and young prisoners for exchange. Russian Defense Ministry's contact group is stationed at the Ukraine border for the exchange. Ukraine unexpectedly delayed acceptance of bodies and POWs without clear justification. The Ukrainian team did not show up at the agreed exchange location, says Medinsky. Kiev's given reasons were described by Russia as various and rather strange.
Я не думаю, я знаю. Зеленский дал личный приказ не забирать тела украинских погибших военных. Эта ситуация может стать так называемым катарсисом. Это один из случаев, который может вызвать тот самый гражданский гнев, такое гражданское противостояние против режима Зеленского.
This comes after Russia launched a large-scale air attack on Ukraine with drones and missiles. Russia strikes Kharkiv with drones and missiles, killing at least 5. Ukraine's Air Force says Russia launched 215 missiles and drones overnight. The earlier strike killed 6 people and wounded around 80 nationwide. Casualties included 3 emergency responders who died at Kiev blast site.
Ukraine refused to collect the dead bodies of their fallen soldiers as agreed between the Russian delegates and the Ukrainian delegate in May 2025 during the talks in Istanbul. Let's talk about it. Zelensky refused to accept the bodies of Ukrainian fallen soldiers. Russia was planning to return 6,000 dead bodies back to Ukraine, but for some reason, Zelensky decided not to accept the bodies. He instead postponed the collection of the bodies till next week. Why? Why? Russia is not giving any condition for the bodies to be collected. Russia is not saying Ukraine should pay them to collect the bodies. No, it's free. So why is Zelensky afraid? Why is it postponing the collection of the fallen Ukrainian soldiers? Why? Russia made a bold claim that the bodies of the dead soldiers are increasing every day. As at the time I was making this video, Russia claimed they now have up to 1,125 bodies in their possession that need to be collected by the Ukrainian government. A video was published by the Russian state TV showing mobile freezing lorry, you know those freezer lorries, queued up full of white body bags of Ukrainian fallen soldiers. Unfortunately, I can't show that video yet, it's too graphic. They are waiting for how, when, or where they should be collected or delivered. But for some reason, the Ukrainian government have decided to postpone the collection of the dead bodies. But why? Why? Keep that question in mind because we'll discuss why shortly. Russia had also voiced their concern about the situation. The Russian spokeslady called Maria Zakharova, I'm sure everybody know that lady. She said, Ukrainian government does not need their citizen dead or alive. Let me repeat that. Maria Zakharova said, the Ukrainian government doesn't need their citizens dead or alive. She said Zelensky refused to accept the bodies of the soldiers and postponed the exchange of prisoners of war, especially the seriously injured prisoners of war and the under 25 years old prisoners of war. So why don't Zelensky want to accept these bodies? I suppose that is what you're thinking right now. Why does Zelensky not want to accept the bodies of the soldiers that fought for him, for his country? Why? Now, from my own opinion, as usual, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to believe what I'm going to say. It's my opinion. I have the right to express it. It's up to you to process it whichever way you want to process it. Now, my opinion. I think Zelensky is afraid to accept those bodies because it would cause an outrage in Ukraine. And also the fear of paying heavy compensation to the families of the soldiers is gripping him. Maybe. Now, Russia would obviously also capitalize on this situation. Either way you look at it, whether Zelensky accepts the bodies or he doesn't accept it, Russia is going to capitalize on this. I mean, based on the heavy losses Ukraine have been suffering. Because in the space of a month, Russia had recorded another nearly 5,000 dead bodies. So you can understand why Zelensky doesn't want to just accept the bodies of these soldiers, and perhaps it is going to destroy the morale of the Ukrainian forces right now. Obviously, seeing how they are treated when they are alive and in death. I mean, nobody want to put themselves through that kind of treatment. From Washington Post, I heard the total amount of compensation that would be given to the families of these dead soldiers, just that 6,000, not the 1,200 and something, just the 6,000. The rough estimate of compensation that will be given to the families of these dead soldiers is roughly 2.5 billion US dollars. And as you know, Ukraine doesn't have that money right now. So it is going to cause an outrage in the country, and Zelensky is looking for the best possible option, either not to accept the body or to accept it. But now he's in a state of dilemma right now because he has to accept the body. But the longer he leaves it with Russia, the more damage it is going to do to the morale and the reputation of Ukraine. Already there are unconfirmed rumor, okay, that Ukrainian soldiers are beginning to refuse to take orders from their commanders because they see how things are going and they understand how they will be treated, or they understand how they are now being treated while they are alive, and they can also see what is happening to the ones that are dead, which means they will be treated the same way. If they die, their body will not be collected by the government or be accepted for whatever reason. So it is affecting the morale of the soldiers, and apparently, allegedly, they are refusing to take orders from their commanders. A Ukrainian journalist called Volodymyr Boyko, he claimed the scale of desertion in the first 5 months of 2025 was up to 90,000. Criminal proceedings were registered under Article 407 and 408 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, which relates to unauthorized abandonment. So these are the statistics of what Volodymyr Boyko gave. Yeah, he said in January 2025, 18,145 desertion cases were registered. In February 2025, 17,809 cases of desertions were recorded. In March 2025, 16,349 cases of desertion was recorded. In April 2025, 18,331 cases of desertion was recorded. In May 2025, 19,956 cases of desertion was recorded within the armed forces of Ukraine. So, in total, since the beginning of June 2025, around 213,722 cases of desertion had been registered. Why do you think that is? Because these soldiers are being forcefully mobilized. They don't want to fight. And if they don't accept mobilization, they disappear. They get killed or worse happen to them. So what they do is they accept the mobilization, go through the quick training, and when they get to the front line, they put their hands up and surrender to Russia, because that is the only way they can live to see another day. Crazy situation, very sad and very bitter to think, but it is real, it's happening. So what do you guys think? And with Zelensky refusing to accept the bodies of the soldiers, what went through your mind when you thought about this? Also, Russia claimed between that meeting that took place in Istanbul in May 2025 up till today, the 8th of June 2025, they claim the numbers of dead that they have in their possession that have been identified, get that word straight, identified, is now up to 1,125. They are all loaded in mobile freezer lorries in white body bags. I'm sure some of you have seen the video floating on social media. That is a very sad thing to do. And why is Russia doing that? That is another strong tool Russia is using to demoralize the forces of Ukraine, to demoralize all the new people that will be mobilized, to let them see how they will end up and how the government is going to treat them when they end up in that position. It is all a game. Yeah, I mean, whatever happens, it's not like Russia is trying to be nice to Ukraine by giving Ukraine the dead bodies. No, that is another powerful tool they are using to demoralize the Ukrainian forces. But what do you think? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. The next update is going to be on Sumy and Kharkiv. Look out for that update. I'll see you guys shortly.